Hey everyone, I'm Clayfect, and today we're going to make an owl bear. It's another request from Mr. Clayfect, and I had no idea what an owl bear was. But then Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and I saw the creature, and I just knew I need that cuteness in my life. So that's what we're going to do, so let's get started. Now, an owl bear is actually, as the name said, is a mix between a bear and an owl, which turns out to be a very fierce creature. And I'm going to tell you a bit more about them later. But for now, let's focus on the sculpture where I am making my classical potato. Now, I quickly decided that I needed to make an OWLBEAR CUB, not an actually adult owl bear. Not only to crank up the cuteness, but also to make it a little more interesting. Plus, Baldur's Gate's OWLBEAR cubs, they are just the cutest. I'm still making my own twist on it, but they are heavily inspired from it. Now, after the armature was done and the smoothing of clay have been taking place, I poked some eye sockets to place these eyes in. Now, please take a moment to marvel at these eyes, because I was not satisfied with any of the pre-bought eyes I had. I wanted this owl bear to have some shine to the eyes. So I decided painting them myself, and oh my god, it's difficult. When you have lost 40% of your eyesight on one eye, it is very difficult to make the pupil. But all in all, I think it was worth it, and I am very happy that I kept trying and kept going until I got the eyes just right as I want them. I'm very proud of them. Now with the eyes in place, I stopped building up the face. What inspired me to make this head with this expression is actually my dear friend. Let's call her Paintfect. She's an amazing artist, and I hope one day she wants to join me in one of my videos. Anyway, she found this cute reference photo of a goofing looking OWLBEAR CUB, and Mr. Clayfect just fell in love with that picture. So of course, that is what I'm going to make. I'm going to make a goofy looking OWLBEAR called Maggi. Now, Maggi was a very stubborn sculpture. It wasn't only her eyes that gave me problems. Making beaks and bird-like features are definitely not my forte. I'm not that good at it. That is why you see me giving her sort of a Karen cut here. Just to build up the face and the head, making sure that it looks more like an owl than a seagull. Now while I do that, why don't I tell you a bit more about the owl bear and the Dungeons & Dragons universe it is coming from. Though before I do that, a quick disclaimer. I am not a Dungeons & Dragons expert. As you know, I barely knew an owl bear existed. I am simply an unknown apprentice that had access to Google. So please don't come for me. And without further ado, let me tell you about the owl bear. The owl bear is one of the most aggressive and dangerous creatures you can stumble upon in the Dungeons & Dragons universe. And if you think about it, it sort of makes sense, because the bear is a ferocious carnivore that is very strong, and the owl is also quite the predator with formidable eyesight. So if you combine those two, you get a very dangerous creature, which was exactly what a lunatic of a wizard did, mixing a big owl with a bear, creating this aggressive beast that is always on the hunt and often are seen hunting in mating pairs. They drag their prey back to the lair to devour them, but always leave a little something behind, hoping to lure more creatures, more prey to their lair. And that was a little but not all of what I know about the owlbear. Right now, I'm giving our little Maggie some stubby legs. Just slowly building the legs up until I'm satisfied. Now, just because Maggie's species is a ferocious hunting machines, doesn't mean that Maggie actually is. No, she's way different. Being the kind-hearted woke that I am, without any sense of morality, I won little Maggie in a dagger juggling contest. And it was just love at first sight. Maggie is not a wild beast. She's actually a pescatarian. Just not with the vegetable and the greens. So pretty much fish. Also, the neighbor's cat has gone missing. But that's just a coincidence. She seems to get along with all of the four-legged family members in my family. And she's doing well. She loves basking in the sun and play around with the dogs. Yesterday, I even heard her trying to bark. So she might get an identity crisis at some point. But at this point, she's doing good. And that is it for Maggie and her backstory. Now back to the sculpture, where I'm finally done working on her legs and start working on her paws instead, cutting them into shape. And I just have to say, I was very happy at this point with how she turns out. It doesn't look like much now, but behold, the texture will come, my friends. Again, I can't help myself, the texture makes so big difference when it comes to a creature like this. So if you ever want to make an owlbear, take your time with the texture. It is really worth it, guys. Though right now, I'm just giving her some nails. Normally when I put on nails, it's just more like a minor detail. But in this case, I actually think it did a whole lot for the sculpture, making it come together. The same goes for the paw pads that really just emphasized the cuteness in some way. Though I have to say, making little tiny toe pads wasn't easy, so it was sort of relieved when I could move on to the tail. Though I wouldn't probably have complained at this point if I knew what texture nightmare lied ahead for me. I used a straw to make sure that it was somewhat the same size before I shaped the small thingies that was going to be the feathers and then put them on. And after they were as I wanted them to be, I gently shaped them to give them some more texture. Being the neurotic perfectionist that I am, I have summed up all my hours it took making this into a epic fur montage for you. So without further ado, let's start the music and the battle with the fur. Sorry I had to cut this montage a little bit short, guys, but I wanted to explain something to you. Being the nervous Nelly that I am, afraid to bake and therefore save something that I might dislike later, I decided to make Maggie in one bake, which means texturing her became increasingly difficult. That is why the Lazy Susan came into play, helping me with the texture. Now I will not admit nor deny that I had a little bit too much fun spinning her around. And after the texturing and a lightly brush, it was onto the oven. And there she is! Isn't she adorable? I am so happy with her at this point. I really think I managed to capture both the owl and the bear. But with her baked, it was time for some paint. And while I do that, why don't I tell you a little bit more about how the OWLBEAR came to be? The OWLBEAR has been in the Dungeons & Dragons universe for eons. The Dungeons & Dragons creator, Gary Gygax, I think he's called, was playing another game he had created. And for that game, he needed some tabletop figures. So that is why he went to the nearest dime store and found some questionable, odd-looking Japanese plastic figures that were supposed to be dinosaurs, but looked way off. One of them actually looked like a mix between an owl and a bear, and that is how the OWLBEAR came to be. Now back to the painful painting process. And the reason I will call it painful is because I'm colorblind. So I literally couldn't see what I was doing with half of the colors, only those that had a bright contrast. So I needed to remember my color theory and remember how the colors looked before I became colorblind, and just mix the colors gradually to get the right blend and the right mix. After that, I dry brushed it all in a cohesive color in hope that it would all fit together. But I have no idea if it works. You tell me if you can see there's a shade difference between the head and the body. But after that, I moved on to something I actually could see, and that was painting the tip of the tail and the ears in a darker brown. And by the way, sorry about all the paint on my hands, guys. I don't know why I insist to keep using my own hand as a paper towel. It's really weird. Anyway, I painted the toe pads a light gray, trying to keep in mind that I was making an OWLBEAR cub, not a grown OWLBEAR, and therefore try to stay in the more lighter spectrum of colors. Though not for the beak. The beak I went for a dark gray to emphasize her big goofy smile. I also painted her claws the same color to make her more cohesive and come together, you can say. Now her little tongue got a bright pink color, again to emphasize this goofy expression that I was going for. But with that adorable grin all painted, all I had to do was give her some shading between her toe pads and clean her eyes up a bit. And I don't know why, but I always found this part of the process so gratifying. It is really oddly satisfying, which reminds me in a weird way that I haven't even made any dad jokes this video. And now the video is pretty much over and I missed it. It is almost too much to bear. I made it. And on that note, I think that is pretty much it for this sculpture and it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. It really means the world to me. I hope you like my pescatarian OWLBEAR cub. I think she came out super cute. I am so happy with her. But with that being said, it's time for me to sign off. I hope to see you next time. But if you can wait until next time, why not click on the scratch your right? Then you're going to see a less cute killer rabbit get made. Until then,